Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, you're official, Mike. It took you 6 months or whatever it's been, but we finally got you an intro. How's it going, man?
Nice. It's going well, BJ. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Appreciate John Patrick over there at KTIK for helping get those intros done. We're still working on the video aspect of it, but at least we got the audio in there, and happy to continue our partnership with you guys. So we're doing the show a little early today. We got a lot going on. Boise State had a late announcement of some basketball interviews today down at about 9:40. So we're going to go down, check out the new court today, and watch some practice and see what's going on with basketball. So appreciate those of you that are watching us early. If you're watching this on delay because you missed the normal show at 9 a.m., we apologize for that. But, Mike, appreciate you for waking up a little early and doing this before we usually start.
No problem. It's easy to get up and let's get after it, BJ. There was a lot of stuff going on. Basketball yesterday, big football game this weekend. A lot of stuff going on, even side stuff with Jeremiah Dickey and stadiums and all kinds of crazy stuff. So let's get after it today, bud.
There is. We basically got 3 topics in 30 minutes, and we'll break it down in thirds. And we got basketball, we got football, and we have a cool esports announcement that we're going to be making as well. Doc Haskell, the coach of the esports team over at Boise State, is going to be joining us at the end of the show. We're going to make a cool announcement and kind of help promote something that they got going on. So
nice.
looking forward to that as well. But I'm actually going to start with basketball. It's the most newsworthy, I guess, because yesterday we had the preseason poll come out, the preseason team, and the football game's coming up on Saturday. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But basketball wasn't. By the way, Mike, in the luxurious Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios here, which is actually my spare bedroom. I'm getting a new air conditioner and a heater put in today. So there's a small chance if the guy shows up at the door, I'm going to need 30 seconds to run down there and we'll see if you can fill while I let him in the house. But hopefully that won't happen before 9 o'clock. But we'll see. Just throwing that out there. But I wanted to start with Boise State picked third in the conference preseason poll. Nobody on the preseason team, but I was listening back to your guys' podcast, and the beginning of the discussion kind of got chopped off. I don't know if that was due to your streaming issues yesterday or what, but
yep.
When you came in, you were talking about being a little skeptical of this basketball team, and I was curious if you could expand on that. And I brought a little bit of ammo, I guess, to play devil's advocate with you, being the positive guy that I am. But I will say first that I think being picked third based on who you lost and who you gained is actually shows a lot of respect for this program and where they think that where they could be. I mean, you lose 3 starters, 3 guys that average, 35, 40 points of your offense last year. You look on paper, they've only got 2 starters back. You bring in some guys. I think that's actually a lot of respect to be picked third, to be honest with you, based on who they lost and who they brought in. And they did bring in 2 4-star players. I mean, I understand that they weren't the freshman of the year, weren't on the preseason team, but you brought in a former 4-star player in Chibuzo Ogbo that had offers from Arizona and Butler and, San Diego State and USC before he chose to go over to Texas Tech. And the numbers don't look great. I get that. But, his situation is very similar to that of Abu Kijab. And he was a 4-star guy that went to Oregon, didn't get a lot of playing time, came over to Boise State and flourished. And it looks like a very similar situation to me. But I get it. Chibuzo Ogbo averaged, 1 point a game or whatever yesterday or last year at Texas Tech. So on paper, that doesn't look good. And I'll throw in Sada Nganga too. And I know, he may not be ready to start and average 20 points a game, from day one, but it took Tyson Degenhart a little bit to get going last year as well. And, here's a guy that, again, 4-star player, had offers from Kansas, Auburn, Oklahoma, TCU, and even after he committed, Alabama. I mean, even after he committed, apparently Kansas and Auburn were like, why'd you do that? Man, like they still wanted him. And so I guess I just don't see the cupboard being as bare as maybe part of your argument did. And maybe you can expand on your reasoning for being a little skeptical of this team. And you thought they were going to do more in the offseason, I guess.
Well, no, and I don't want to say that the cupboard's bare. The cupboard's not bare, and I certainly am not implying that from yesterday at all. And I did joke around a little bit that for the first time in poking fun at Leon Rice, I felt bad because we've come a long way personally. Leon Rice and I, we're kind of buddies now. We're not as close as you are, BJ, but I saw him at football practice and he popped over and he shook my hand and we told a couple of jokes and had some fun. And I know we had a couple of social events and hung out with him a little bit. So, and this has nothing to do with Leon, the person who I've really come to like a lot. So I kind of felt bad when I said this yesterday. And my argument was literally on paper. And that's what Mountain West Media Days are. That's what media days are, period. It's a superficial paper celebration of the beginning of the season type of thing. And I said I wanted more. Coming off of the greatest season in school history, I wanted more. I wanted at least one person on the all-conference team. I wanted a newcomer of the year, a freshman of the year, a player of the year. I wanted maybe a couple of first-place votes. So there was just a couple of small little signs there that told me that he didn't have the splashy offseason that could have capitalized on the great season that they had before. Now, everything you just said is 100% true. You're not wrong in terms of potential. There's potential here. I see some guys on this roster that are pretty good on paper and potential-wise. So I was just hoping for a little bit more Mountain West Media Day buzz with this program coming off what they did last year. I thought that maybe they could get a couple of players with some recognition. I didn't expect Tyson Degenhart to be, one of the top 5 players in the conference, although I think it's ridiculous that the Mountain West puts on a player on there that may not even play this year. Maybe you have to.
Yeah, the voting was due 1 day before he got hurt. Yep.
I know, but maybe afterwards you make some kind of decision. You make some kind of an executive decision. The whole point of Media Day is publicity and excitement and creating fans. It's not for the media. I mean, we get a little bit smarter, but not really. It's to create awareness for the fans. It's to create awareness that the season is about to come. And there was very little buzz yesterday. It's Media Day. Let's just leave it as it is and move on. And yeah, I'm skeptical.
I will say that too. I think they did this kind of virtual Media Day, which takes away some of the buzz as opposed to a lot of the other conferences that met in Las Vegas or wherever else and did it in person. So it kind of snuck up on people and was kind of a small thing. But like I said, I would, and again, I'm not trying to defend Leon or the program here, but I would say being picked third was actually pretty good, and it was some respect based on the guys that they lost. But I think Boise State has proven that they kind of in player development and an eye on talent and guys like Akot and Kijab, that they find better situations. I would give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, that some of these guys are going to pan out. But there's no doubt if you look at it on paper, you can make a strong argument they're not as talented as they were last year. But again, we haven't seen Chibuzo Ogbo play. We haven't seen Sada Nganga come in, and if Sada Nganga ends up being what Tyson Degenhart was, the freshman of the year last year, then you're feeling pretty good. And if you're Leon Rice, I think Leon Rice would say we did make a splash. He would say we brought in a guy that turned down Kentucky and Kansas and Auburn to come here, and some other, and so I think they feel better about it than maybe some others do. I'm not here saying they're going to win the Mountain West. I also, Mike, think that the league's pretty good this year from a top standpoint. I mean, you have San Diego State brought all their guys back, and San Diego State is just loaded this year. They started at number 19 in the Associated Press poll. They added in a 20-point game scorer from Seattle U to fill one of the guard spots they needed. And then, Wyoming again also brings back Maldonado and EK. They added some transfers from USC. So, I think it's just it's also the case of the two teams in front of them both being very, very good as well. But I am intrigued. They have a pretty tough schedule, especially right out of the gate with South Dakota State and then Washington State in the first two games. And then they go right on to that tournament in Myrtle Beach. So I think, 6-7 games into this thing, we're already going to have a pretty good idea about this team.
No, and I think that this team has potential to grow. And I liked what Leon and his staff did last year in terms of developing the talent that we didn't know last year. We didn't know who Tyson Degenhar was or some of these other guys. So they did a great job doing that. And maybe that's where Leon Rice works his magic the most, so certainly in the public view, is during the season when he's developing these guys. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a fun season, BJ.
Before we switch topics, I do want to play this 20-second clip. I don't know if you saw this. I put it on Twitter. But Leon Rice was asked what it would mean to him and where would it rank in his career if he got to see both of his sons, Max and Cade, play together at the same time. And this was a pretty funny exchange.
My second question, if we end up seeing Cade and Max on the field this season, will that rank among the highlights of your career?
I think that might be a low light of my career if it happens this year, because we intend to redshirt Cade, so that would mean a bunch of people got hurt. So God forbid I have to see that this year.
And Boise State fans are probably saying the same thing there, Mike.
Yes. That's a funny answer. That's the reality. I didn't expect him to say that. So that's the Leon that we know and love, and that's the Leon that's really funny, and that's the Leon we see in press conferences and that I've gotten to appreciate and know this year. So I'm not trying to soft pedal my skepticism. I'm just saying that there's a little bit of balance. I mean, you said San Diego State picked up a 20-point score from Seattle. Boise State picked up a 1-point score and its transfer. I'm just playing the game on paper and looking at the balance. It would have been nice if Boise State would have had that one splashy hire that would have got the fans excited. BJ, the fans excited.
Yeah, I think that the championship last year and having a banner hang and a ring and is excitement enough. And I would say that's probably something interesting to watch. Do you go for the higher score at the lower level or the higher talent at the higher level that's coming down? Yep. It worked. I would say that worked pretty good with Akot and Kejab coming in from Arizona that when they came down. So we'll see. I guess the verdict is out on that, but we'll talk to Leon a little later this morning, get to see that new court, and we'll go from there. Hey, do you want to thank a couple of our sponsors real quick? The Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. You can find that out at theblueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Market, shopridleys.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley, 13 to be exact, in the state of Idaho. Make sure you check them out, shopridleys.com. United Commercial Insurance, they make business insurance easy. If you're looking to upgrade your business policies and your insurance and save some money, they can write policies in 44 states around the country. So make sure you check them out, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. Boise Dentistry Co., check them out as well. That's my family now that goes there for our dentist, and Dr. Meinert does a great job. So if you're looking for a new dentist, look no further. Dr. Chris Meinert, there at BoiseDentistryCo.com. And if you're looking for a new job, how about becoming a truck driver? Everything from the big rig on the screen to the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, Transportation Compliance Service can help you out. TCS, we're looking forward to having them continue on board here moving forward. So if you're looking for a new job, check them out. And by the way, Matt Bauscher's back, Prater. We've agreed with him for year 2. The Matt Bauscher Show will start next week. So appreciate Matt for staying on board. And if you're looking for some real estate help, check them out. BauscherRealEstate.com, the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. We're going to bring Doc Haskell on in about 5 minutes, Mike. But, the football game on Saturday, it's an interesting affair here, man. Boise State can really take a stranglehold here on this division. It's the last conference game where they're going to probably be underdogs. The schedule really lightens up after this. I don't want to say that they're, a lock or guaranteed in or can coast, but they'll certainly be in the driver's seat if they get this win.
Yeah, it's huge. And they've even built themselves a little bit of a cushion if it's not so much a must win anymore. And I don't really think that matters to this football team. I love this matchup. It's Styles versus Styles, and it's #1 rushing defense against the #1 rushing offense. And, we know that Boise State can typically beat Air Force when it outscores them. So I'm not so much worried about Boise State stopping Air Force. Air Force is going to do its damage. Can Boise State's offense outscore Air Force's defense? That's the big intriguing story with Boise State's offense, as it has been all season long.
What do you make of what do you expect of Talon Green in his first road start? Obviously got some experience in that Oregon State game, but the game was kind of not in doubt at that point. And so he comes in from the start in a key, important, crucial Mountain West game where points are going to be at a premium and, limited possessions. You're going to need to score and take advantage. You can't be having turnovers in your, and backed up in your own end like he had, and get away with it against a team like Air Force. First road start for Talon Green. What's on his plate?
Yeah, I don't think the moment's going to be too big for him, especially after the bye week and just spending so much time with Dirk Cutter and this offensive staff and just kind of taking a big, deep breath in terms of what the last couple of weeks have meant for him. So I would imagine it's going to be a lot of the same. I can't imagine they're going to expand his role. He's not going to show up all of a sudden and be a passer. The good news for you, BJ, is this might be a 2-hour and 45-minute football game, the way that these two teams run the football. So I would suspect he's going to come out and try to play a clean game. Clean game is very important for him. And just do what he's been doing. Hand it off, and maybe look for the big home run pass. But I don't anticipate Taylor Green being too much of an issue. I think he's going to come in and be calm, cool, collective, and do what he's been doing for the last couple of weeks.
Nick Wade says just win, baby. No style points or anything needed in this one. Clint says it's different this time against Air Force with Taylor and Helani, Genty, a lot of firepower for them to have to stop us. And you're right, it's going to be a lot of running, a lot of clock moving. I think in that UTEP game, it was 4 or 5 possessions in the whole first half. We may be seeing something similar there. And so, if you're getting 6, 7, 8 possessions instead of 13, 14, you can't be settling for field goals. You can't be punting much in this game.
UNLV last week against Air Force ran 35 plays. That's twice this season that an opponent against Air Force has run less than 40 plays. So that's how they control and manipulate the clock. That's how they win football games. So that's the most important thing. I went back and looked at all the plays. The key stat in this series is making sure that the plays are equal, 64 to 65. If it's 40 to 60, it's going to be advantage Air Force. So Boise State has the sustained drives. They have to do exactly what they weren't doing early on in the season and move the sticks, stay in front of the sticks, get those first downs, be efficient on third down, and keep the ball away from Air Force. You have to be able to do that. So it's not so much the scoreboard, it's the amount of plays that are being run. And look at the first half number of plays, and if it's 25-12, Boise State's in trouble in the second half unless they do some major changes.
Boise State wins this game if what happens? Mike, what do you want to see happen on Saturday?
Outscore them. Air Force is going to get its 24 to 30 plus points. There's no doubt about that. Boise
That's
State.
The analysis I pay you for, Mike. How do they win the game? They outscore the other team.
I know that's brilliant. You got me 30 minutes earlier, so I'm not quite as sharp and crisp as I am. I just think the offense, everybody talks about the defense here, and I think the defense is going to be fine. They're going to give up big plays. Air Force is very, very good at explosive plays. I think their backup quarterback even has an 80-yard touchdown pass. So they got runners, wide receivers, quarterbacks all over the place, big explosive plays. Boise State defensively is going to be fine. They're going to give up a couple of big plays, but I just think Taylor Green, maybe that's why you brought him up in the beginning, a clean game and go out there and score 34 plus points. If you can score 34 points on these guys, I think you're going to be fine.
Perry says need to create some turnovers. He says that, and then going back to basketball, he says Prater is always skeptical. So
Prater's always skeptical about basketball.
That's why we love you, man. That's why we love you.
and the turnover thing, don't count on that. Brad Roberts I think he's been there 4 years. He's lost one fumble in his entire career at Air Force. It was earlier this season. They don't turn the ball over very much. Zeke Daniels might throw an interception out of his 5 passing attempts. There's not going to be a lot of opportunities for turnovers. Boise State's going to have to win this game with things other than turnovers.
Number 1 ranked rushing offense in the country, 360 yards a game, and Brad Roberts, number 4 nationally, 850 yards, I believe, and tied for number 2 nationally with 12 rushing touchdowns. So should be fun on Saturday. We'll continue to get you set here at Bronco Nation News. Want to tell you about a couple of our sponsors. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out. They'll make you a cash offer on the spot for your used vehicle if you want to purchase from them, or if you don't want to purchase from them, they'll still buy your used car. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com, our title sponsor. Ropaint.com, they got great deals, 10% off right now on the interior painting of your home. So check them out if you're interested, roepaint.com. And our studio sponsor, Cutwater Canned Cocktail Studios, over 30 flavors of mixed drinks. Check them out, Cutwater Canned Cocktails, at your local grocery store or gas station. And Idaho Central Credit Union, check them out, iccu.com. They're a big supporter of Bronco Nation News. We appreciate them for what they're doing, and over half a million Idahoans have made the switch to Idaho Central Credit Union, and you can too at iccu.com. And Mike, I saved their read for last because I know they're a big supporter of our next guest here that we're going to bring on. And I thought we both had kind of nice backgrounds for our studio here, but we bring on Doc Haskell, and he's got the coolest background out of all of us here. Doc, the coach of the esports team down at Boise State. How's it going, Doc?
It's going great. I get to hang out here.
You got quite the setup there, man. That is Really impressive. We appreciate you coming on. I know Prater was down there already last week. I'm looking forward to getting down here in the near future. But you guys got a lot going on with your program. You're celebrating the 1,000 wins coming up. You had a big win last night, I believe, and then we also have a charity tournament we want to talk about. But how's life as the esports coach right now?
It's pretty awesome. Actually, we had Prater in ball game here not that long ago. I actually asked Prater if he was skeptical, and he said, "I'm not so sure about that."
My question is to you. I mean, you're here this morning. It's bright and early. It looks like it's game day for you. Last time I saw you, it was night. Do you have a cot back in the corner? Are you like a football coach with a cot in the corner?
No, but we've got a couple of couches, and sometimes midday, if we're doing a 12 or 14-hour day, which is most days. Sometimes you just gotta catch quick 10, and then you just recycle and go.
I like it. I like it a lot. Nicely done, Coach. Nicely done. Good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's so fun having you guys here.
We enjoyed that. It was a very cool situation, and your arena is absolutely spectacular. I told Johnny Ballgame that your arena was going to blow him away, and he said, "Yeah, okay, whatever." A couple of TVs and a beanbag chair, because I told him about the beanbag chair.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he walks in, it's like, oh my, this is like the greatest place on the planet. He wants to come back. It might be the worst decision you've ever made in terms of inviting Johnny Ballgame, because he might be that house guest that never leaves now.
He might be, and that's okay. We have a lot of other folks like that. Oh, we call them students. Eventually they leave. They get a degree and then they go.
Well, appreciate you, Doc. I was telling Prater before you came on, it's always like the worst timing of anything that can happen, but they're putting in a new air conditioner and heater in my house, and they just showed up. So I had to let them in for a minute, so I don't know exactly what hard-hitting analysis Prater hits you with, but we see the studio back there. Oh, go ahead.
While you were gone, we were talking about the keys to Bronco success, and I was suggesting they just need – Mike Verdon needs to get the ball to Winky White a little bit more, and we've got this.
Tell us about the setup back there.
You bet.
You guys have the arena downtown. We have some other video here that I shot, or that you shot and sent to me, of the studio.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. For folks that haven't been down there, that aren't really familiar with the esports program and how it all works and what you guys do and how you operate, fill us in.
You bet. We support about 30 scholarship varsity student athletes who are gamers and about 250 club members. What you're seeing is our match last night against Keanu. That was a really big national match that put us firmly on the right side of the bracket to make playoffs in Collegiate Rocket League. There are only 32 teams nationally that qualify for this huge tournament, and we're looking to make the top 16, and the win over Keanu last night was a big part of it. But we're playing around with how do we pump up fans? Well, Thunderstruck always pumps up fans. So they're getting ready going into Game 5, the deciding game here, which they won 1-0, which was fabulous. And that group is on the heels of a Mountain West and an ECAC title, and their second consecutive big dance appearance for the Collegiate Rocket League.
I was listening to your interview with Prater and Johnny last week, and you said that you called them student athletes, and admittedly said that everybody was probably laughing or puking or something when you said that. But just for folks that don't know much about how esports works and where the funds come from, and just how many colleges are, you mentioned it's becoming a national thing, but I think some people do look at it and say, these are video gamers, they're not student athletes or whatever. I mean, how do you? I know you don't get like financial support from the university, but they support you. You're technically Boise State Esports. It's all students. I mean, how does this all work together here?
Well, it's pretty cool. I mean, the university does an incredible job supporting us, but like all university units, we have to raise our own funds. So we have about a $500,000 total budget that we raise completely through incredible generous donations, lots of scholarship donations. ICCU is massive in that process. Has put nearly $500,000 toward Boise State students getting their degrees, and we're in our 6th year, and we already have 20 graduates who were supported by the program and used it to really elevate their experience at the university. And when people say, well, we're scholarshiping video gamers now, honestly, universities are always looking for the best and the brightest at what they do to come to their university. And this is no weirder than rowing. Am I right? That's still a college sport.
I mean, Boise State's playing Air Force this weekend. Air Force has a rifle team. Give me the esports guy over the rifle team guy every single time. Although the Air Force guys should probably learn how to use the rifle. So I understand the justification there. BJ, it is so surreal when you walk into this stadium. They have a training table area. They have a recruiting board. They have all kinds. It's like, you know what? 5 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, your esports setup would have been fancier than the football setup. Now, football may have caught you by since then, but what you have now is a pretty sweet setup, Doc.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jeremiah Dickey's doing amazing stuff over there. We try to tour those facilities and just learn as much from them as we can all the time, because honestly, they've gotten really good at supporting student athletes at the highest possible level. And that's really what we need to do to be successful, to recruit the best in the country. So, BJ, there are about 450 colleges and universities right now that are all in on esports, staff, scholarships, facilities, and lots more that are coming online. Every university in the Mountain West plays in one of the many games that we play. And there are, conference championships in 4 titles every year. We won 3 of them last year, which was pretty amazing. But
yeah, I need to get the setup you have there, the TV setup you guys have with the studio and all that. I need to get some tips on that. But we did have oh, here we go. Look at this. Yeah, they got the whole setup there, the teleprompter, the cameras. Look at that. That's really impressive. We got 2 fan questions here we wanted to get to. Okay. Nick wants to know, do you sell tickets? He would love to take his boy.
Come anytime. We're open Monday through Saturday, noon to 9, and just stop on by, walk in the front doors. We're 301 South Capitol, directly across from Trader Joe's. Anybody can walk in and play at any time.
That's pretty cool. Josh wants to know, do you have different athletes for different video games, or are you only playing 1 to 2 games?
They all play lots of different games, but they are singular and unique at one. And so we recruit them to play 1 game.
Well, one of the things I learned, visiting with you guys on Monday night is that, first of all, thank you for letting me see your recruiting board. Football's never let me see the recruiting board. So I thought that was pretty darn cool that I got to actually see your recruiting board. And I don't know if I'm allowed to put out certain kind of information, but, Boise State has the national Madden champion. He's the national champion, Wasey Williams, a cowboy from Glens Ferry, cool dude. We've met him a couple of times. He's the national Madden champion, and this is his last year at Boise State. Doc Haskell and his team are out there specifically recruiting a Madden specialist to replace Wasey Williams to come onto their team. They think they've found a couple of guys or gals or whoever they are that could come in. It's a specialist. So I was really impressed that you were out there recruiting for a specific game, Coach.
Yeah, well, and Peyton Tuma, who is from San Diego, California, is the one that we're recruiting heavily to try to fill the massive shoes of Wasey Williams. But he's been invited to he's a high school kid who's been invited to a national competition where only 8 national professional Madden players were invited. And there are professional Madden players.
Wow. Well, I can't get as mad at my kids now when they want to play video games all the time. I got to say, you're working towards that college scholarship for me.
But you got to play with a purpose. You got to have goals. You can't just sit on there with your friends and grind. Okay. You got to set goals and try to achieve those. You got to get coaching. Even in high school, there are lots of AAU-style organizations that are gathering kids together and building travel squads of gamers because there's I think somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 million annually in esports scholarships alone.
Well, we had you on for a lot of reasons. It was cool to see all this and hear from you and help give you guys some publicity. But you guys are doing the Giving Games coming up, a big tournament coming up. Tell us about the Giving Games and what you're looking to do there and how folks can get involved with that.
Well, it's Clark Rasmussen's brainchild. The Giving Games is a corporate esports competition. This year it's going to be Call of Duty. And representatives from different companies. I mean, ICCU is going to put forward 2 teams. I hear rumors that you are actively recruiting. We're going to see the Idaho Army National Guard in there. But every year, they all make a donation to the Idaho Food Bank to be able to participate in this corporate-only tournament. Also, during this period of time, we're going to open our arena to anyone and everyone for some extended hours to come in and play. This will be December 5th through the 10th. the first week of December. The only thing we ask is that you either bring a donation or proof of a donation or a can of food to come in and play, and you can play right here in the Boise State Arena up on stage. And together we're gonna help out the Idaho Food Bank and make sure some families are taken care of this season.
Yeah, it's $1,000 donation to the Idaho Food Bank. You get your team in, you get to play some games. You guys are going to broadcast them, put them out on the Twitch channel, right? And it's going to be a cool deal. So if you are a company owner or work for a company that might want to make a $1,000 donation to the Idaho Food Bank, you get a team together. What, four players, right?
4 players.
And we are. You kind of let the cat out of the bag there, but Bronco Nation News will be making the $1,000 donation. We are going to go ahead and get a team in this tournament, and I'm looking for 4. I'm looking for 4 subscribers. If you're a paying subscriber of Bronco Nation News and you want, you think you can play some Call of Duty and you want in this tournament, you send me an email. We'll see if we get more than 4. Maybe we have our own tournament to get down to 4. I don't know, but let me know if you want in. We're going to make the donation. I think it's awesome what you guys are doing, Doc. I can't wait to come down there and check it out. But
it's gonna be awesome.
Bronco Nation News is in, and I feel bad. Like the Army National Guard, I don't want to take them down in the tournament. But ICCU and Clark, I don't know. I'm not too worried about their team, but this is going to be a lot of fun. So if you're, again, a subscriber, if you're, and you want in, let me know. We got 4 spots available. We're going to let you play in this tournament, and we're happy to support you guys, happy to support the Idaho Food Bank. Clark and ICCU are a big sponsor of ours as well, and we appreciate everything that they're doing for us and for you guys. And when Clark talked to me about this, I thought it was a great idea, and I said, we're in right away, and happy to help out the Idaho Food Bank. And how many teams are you looking for?
Well, you know what? We typically run with 8, but we have the ability to run with as many as want to come. Truly.
And how can folks, do you guys have a website or an email or something in terms of just the tournament, or if they want more information in general about your program, where can they go?
Yeah, they can just go to boisestate.edu/esports. They'll find lots of stuff. They'll be able to contact us directly, or they can just walk in the front door here.
Awesome, man. Hey, it looks awesome. We really appreciate it. We'll be in touch to get our team officially registered, but mark us down. We're in, and we'll see if I can't get any subscribers, maybe just Prater and Johnny and Jay Tust and I will play together or something.
You got them, and your subscribers have children that'll want to play. I mean, I think you're going to be able to build a juggernaut.
Somebody just said, he said, I got a guy for you. He's a listener, hasn't subscribed yet. He's been carrying me in Call of Duty for years. I'll make it happen. So we'll see. But maybe we can we'll get this done. We're looking forward to it. Appreciate it, Doc. Thanks for your time, and we'll be in touch.
Go Broncos.
There he is, Doc Haskell, the head coach of the esports team over at Boise State, and pretty cool deal, Mike.
I love it. I love that program. I'm the parent who banned video games from my house for my 2 kids. My 2 kids left my house after high school and never played a video game. And, I was pretty good at Pac-Man back in the day, but that's the extent of my video game expertise. But I've been into that stadium twice. I've hung out with them for a significant chunk of time both times, and I love what they do. I think it's an important mission. I'm not the skeptical, just they're gamers sitting there eating Cheetos kind of guy. They have a much higher purpose. They have a much higher mission, and Doc Haskell is doing a wonderful job with that program.
Well, appreciate you coming on and being part of the interview, Mike. And again, we're happy to make the $1,000 donation to the Idaho Food Bank for Bronco Nation News. And if you want in on the tournament, if you're watching this and you're a pretty good Call of Duty player, let me know. We need to put a 4 team together because I don't want I'm not entering this, Mike, if I don't think we have a chance to win. So let's get some players on here and let's win this thing and help out a good cause, the Idaho Food Bank, at the same time. So appreciate it, Mike. We're going to head down to Boise State, get some video of the new court, talk to Coach Rice, and then I'll join you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock on Idaho Sports Talk as we get set for the game on Saturday.
Looking forward to it. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Sorry we were a little early today, but we'll be back 9 a.m. tomorrow with Jay Tust. Have a great day. Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.